this is episode 3. Yes, I think this is message 92 on this program. So this is the third episode. So today we're gonna be doing sine and the cosine rule. So njengoba senilazi udaba indlela engifundisa ngayo angivele nje ngiqhamuke sengithina sisibala ekhaya, but I prefer ukuthi nginikeze i-background yalento esuke sizoyenza. So this is our introduction. So guys, in this section we will cover how to, number 1, use the sine rule to find unknown sides and the angles. So after this session kumele ukwazi ukuthi usine rule simsebenzisa kanjani ukuthola the unknown sides. Kuzomele wazi ukuthi usine rule simsebenzisa kanjani ukuthola the unknown angles. Number 2, use the cosine rule to find the unknown sides and unknown angles. So besibuka ukuthi simsebenzisa kanjani usine kanye no cosine rule to find the unknown sides and the unknown angles. So combine trigonometry skills to solve problems. So lezi zoyi-2, the Pythagoras theorem and the trigonometric ratios apply if sidila nama right angled triangle. So akusinke lokho in our mind ukuthi uma ucabanga nje ukusebenzisa lezi zinto zoyi-2, Pythagoras theorem or trigonometric ratios, zibuze kuqala ukuthi ngabe ngidila ne-triangle eyi-right angled triangle. So if the answer is yes, then usuyabona if ukuthi i-right angle triangle yakho unayo i-angle, usungabona ukuthi iyiphi i-trig ratio ozoyisebenzisa la ukuthola the side that ofuna ukuyithola, the unknown side. If kuwukuthi une-right angled triangle and you are given 2 sides, ufuna leli side elinye, you can use the Pythagoras theorem. So zihamba kanjalo leso. So namhlanje ngi-introduce ke into entsha whereby uthola ukuthi i-triangle esidila nayo ayisiyona i-right angled triangle. So if i-triangle udila nayo ingasiyo i-right angled triangle, ingenawo lo 180 degrees, lapho ukuze uthole i-side noma i-angle, it's either uzo-apply the sine rule and the cosine rule. So ngizochazela ukuthi ubona ngani ukuthi kumele u-apply the sine rule and ubona ngani ukuthi kumele u-apply the cosine rule, because iyona nto engiyinothisile kakhulu kubafundi leyo ukuthi sometimes ba-end up begesa esebenzisa noma yiphi formula. Ukuthi uyambuza why are you using this formula, ethi ayi ngibone ngathi iyona kumele ngiyisebenzise. Ubona ukuthi this person is doing i-guesswork. So mina angifuni ukuthi abafundi bami kube babantu abagesayo. Everything esiyenzayo kumele siyenze sinama reasons aphathekayo ukuthi I'm doing this or I'm applying this rule because of 1, 2 and 3. Ukhombisa ukuthi what you are doing it's something oyifundile oyazi. So asizi ukudlala i-guesswork. So ngizocela ulalelisise ke. So sizoqala ngo-sine rule. So the sine rule can be used in any triangle, not just right angled triangles. Angisho yayizwa leyo nto leyo. So i-sine rule ungayisebenzisa nanoma yiphi triangle, but leyo triangle kumele kuwukuthi ayisiyona i-right angled triangle, where a side and its opposite angle are known. Nanku ukukhiye la ukuthi okay, ngibona ngani ukuthi ngingakwazi ukusebenzisa i-sine rule. So the key la ukucheck ukuthi ngabe i-side onalo li-opposite yini i-angle yakho. So mhlambe ukuze lento izobonakala kahle. So let's say sinikezwe nansi i-triangle. Hayi esitshela kanje, so athi ngidobe kabusha ithi ukuqonda. Okay, so this is our triangle. Okay, ungangimind ukutsheka kwayo. So this is i-angle yethu ilapha, yeah. So this is our theta, i-angle, and then this is i-side lethu esinalo. So siluyize ngo-small letter A. Okusho ukuthi obvious lapha yana sino capital letter A. So into yokuqala guys kumele siyazi ukuthi ukuze ukhona ukusebenzisa i-sine rule, you must have i-angle, and opposite leyo angle you must know i-length yalelo side lelo. So okusho ukuthi ngamanye amazwi if une triangle ethi ayibe kanje, ine triangle ebe kanje, nansi i-angle yakho lapha ya, then unikezwe leli side mhlawumbe bethu 2. Angithi uyabona leli side olinikeziwe alikho opposite i-angle yakho. So in this case ngeke ukwazi uku-apply i-sine rule. I-sine rule ukwazi uku-apply if opposite angle yakho there is a given side. Siyayibamba?
Yeah.
Okay, so into yokuqala leyo ekumele siyazi ukuthi opposite angle you must have a given side. Then so now how do we find the sides of a triangle yethu sisebenzisa the sine rule? So finding the sides. So how do we find the sides? If you need to find the length of a side, you need to use a version of the sine rule where the length is where the length are on the top of the formula yethu. So ama formula 2 khona enye formula uzothola ukuthi usine A ungaphezulu A umncane ungaphansi. Leyo sisebenzisa masifuna ama angle. So if isifuna ama length sifuna ama sides kwi triangle yethu sisebenzisa le formula whereby unakhuza ama sides wethu abangaphezulu then ama angles abangezansi. So la i-formula yethu yokuthola i-side ithini, small letter A over sine A, i-angle le sine x kuyi-angle, or equals to small letter B over sine B, equals to C, small letter C over sine C. So la khona o A, B and C bengaphezulu beyi-numerator, leyo formula sisebenzisa if kuwukuthi sifuna ini i-side. So kumele sikwazi lokho because abafundi bagcine bephambanisa uthola ukuthi omunye uzosebenzisa le uthola ukuthi sino sine A ngaphezulu over small letter A lapho sizobe sifuna i-angle. So once wafuna i-side yazi ukuthi i-formula esisebenzisayo ile ama small letters wethu aba i-numerator then ama angles abe i-denominator. So you will only ever need two parts of the sine rule formula. So I'm going to the formula in my part out 3. This is the first part, the second part, and the third part. Our thing won't go 3 lama parts. You only need 2. So the combination with this you only need to use 2 parts here. So what the angmele ukuthi lama parts was ube nawo wonke. So as long ungakhona ukuthi unakhuza usubstitute ama-part ayi-2 laphaya, then whatever unknown osukunayo uzokhona ukuyisolve. So you don't need to have all these 3 parts. So you only need 2. So you don't need all 3. So you will need to know at least 1 pair of a side with its opposite angle to use sine rule. Already besesichazile le ukuthi uzodinga ukuthi elinye lama side onalo libe opposite ini i-angle yakho. So asisebenzise example ukuchaza noma ukuveza yonke lento esesichazile above. So finding side example. So this example yokuthola the side. So work out the length of x in the diagram below. So in this diagram bafuna sithole the length of ubani u-x. So nangiya u-x lapha ya. So bafuna lower x lower ya. So angithi uyakhumbula iprinciple lithini ukuze sibone ukuthi siyakwazi ukusebenzisa usine rule, at least kumele sibe ne-angle with the opposite side esiyaziyo. So the opposite side la u7 sina. So since sine angle, the known angle and the known opposite side, sesiyabona ukuthi ke singakhona ukusolve for that x, that length usithole leya length yaleli side leliya using usine rule. Why? Because we do have the angle and the opposite side esilaziyo. Siyatholana?
Yeah.
So now uma sesisolve ke la, so ingakhuza usungayilebhela wena ke ngokwakho, usungayilebhela ngokwakho i-triangle yakho. So esuke i-opposite ne-side lakho lelo laziyo, leyo angle uhlezi uyi-denoter ngo-A. So this is our A. Okusho ukuthi the opposite side is the small letter A. So obvious la ungamfaka nje kube capital letter X lower, then this is small letter X lo esimfuna. Then umuthanda lapha noma ungangalebhela leli cause asiza ukulidinga leliya side. So but umuthanda ungalenza libe u-B. But into ewukhiye la, le angle e-opposite iside olaziyo iyenze ibe ubani ibe u-A. Now sesifuna ukusolve ke la. So if sifuna ukusolve la, angithi siyazi ukuthi sifuna ukusolve i-length iside. So i-formula yethu kuzoba ile ethini, small letter A over usine A equals to sifuna leya nakhuza leya length leyana oku small letter x all over ubani usine x, capital letter X. Then say substitute. Now yakhumbula 10. You don't need to use all the three parts. So you only need two. So as now as angle liga B, as now side liga B. So there's question mark up. So there's no need to go to layer information that B because as bottom na le angle na layer side layer. So lokho akukho relevant. That is why sithini awudingi ukuthi uzusebenzise onke ama-parts formula. So you only need two parts of the formula. Then masuyibhalile-ke kanje usuyisethile usuya-substitute. So the size of A, the length of A ubani 7. So we've got 7 over usine A, angle A uba. So it's 60 degrees. So 7 over sine 60 degrees equals to, we do not know, x all over patisiyamazi usine x layer angle ubani usine 80 degrees. So sine 80 degrees. Now sekulula siyakhona ukusolve for x. So the solve for x kumele senze njani? Si cross multiply. So must cross multiply. So noma singa cross multiply. Indlela elula ukuthi sivele si multiply nge-denominator yale fraction le, so that bezokhanzelana usine s no usine 80 no usine 80 bezokhanzelana. Esikwenza on the right we also do on the left. So the easiest way ukuthi uvele uthi times so you times by usine 80, so you multiply by sine 80 degrees. So okwenza ngala you must also do on the other side. So nangala multiply by sine 80 degrees. So low sine 80 na lower sine 80 bazokhanzelana, then usuyayithola ke i-length yakho ka-x. So sekukusebenzisa i-calculator la. So now you punch i-calculator yakho la. So i-calculator yakho ngicela ukuvule yami la. But ungabe uyishaye yakho if uyithola ungitshela ukuthi uthola ba. So sino sine 80 multiply by fraction 7 over sine 60 degrees. Then uphuma round it to 2 decimals. So almost round it to 2 decimals. The length x ka side x kuzoba ubani 7,96 units. So 7,96 units. Siyayibamba?
Yeah, but sir, I'll round off.
Angesh?
I'll round off length x.
X go round off kanjani?
Well, ngisho ukuthi x angithi 7,96 units.
Yes.
Can't you round off to 8?
8. Oh, lapho kuzodependa kwi-information. If bethi round to the nearest whole number, then uzoba 8 units. But if bethi round if bethi round to 2 decimals, then after digit or after comma, you take 2 digits. So if bethi
Okay.
yes, low information don't depend on what information you're getting. If bethi round to 1 decimal, after comma you take only 1 digit. So lapho kuzobe sekuba which information you're getting. So if lana bebethi as rounded to the nearest whole number, then beso 7 beso 8 because it's no 9 lapha beso 8 to 1 ngala kubo 8. But here ngifuna rounded to 2 decimals. So that is why after comma we take 2 digits, which is 9 and 6. So local we affect at comes depend on the information ukuthi ithi round off kanjani.
Oh, okay. Yo.
Okay. Then sindlulele phambili. Now sesiyakhona ukuthi okay, this is how we get each side the triangle, a non-right angle, the triangle using the sine rule. See, summarize it. We need an angle and the opposite side. Then sesiyakhona ukuthola the length side esinganalo. Then go finding angles. So now if it's funa ke i-angle singafuni side, but now sesifuna the angles. So sesifuna theta la, the angle. So finding angles. So if you need to find the side of an angle, you need to use the version of the sine rule where the angles are on the top. So uyabona umehluko. Uma sifuna iside sisebenzisa the version ye-formula whereby ama-length kuyiwona are on the top, ayi-numerator. But uma sifuna ama-angles, ama-angles wona aba i-numerator la. So laba o-A no-B and C sebeba ngezansi. Siyabona umehluko. So le formula le usuke so le formula le usuke ufuna inike lapho usuke ufuna the angles. So this is the correct version of the formula esisebenzisayo if we want to find the angle. So as mentioned before, you will only need two parts of the sine rule. So awadingi wonke woyi-3 lama part, you only need two parts. Njengoba kade senzile nasekuqaleni ukuthi awadingi wonke, awudingi uba no sine A over A, sine B over B, sine C over C. So you only need two parts of this formula, not 3 of them. So, and you still need at least a side and its opposite angle. So i-principle yokuthi uyalidinga isayidi kanye ne-opposite angle isamile leyo principle. Angithi uyabona la we do have i-angle esiyaziyo and the opposite side siyayazi. So guys, yona principle nje ka-sine rule le, you just need to have the angle and what? The opposite side. Then angithi uyabona ukuthi lana sinalo leli linye iside esingenayo yini? I-angle. So uma sifuna i-angle sesiyazi ukuthi this is the correct version of i-formula ekumele siyisebenzise. So akusiyona into le guys ekumele isidide, but abafundi bayenza kube ngazi ukuthi i-complicated le nto le. So sesiyayazi i-principle yethu. Sithe ngaso sonke isikhathi uma ulebhela i-triangle, because abanye badideka uma sebelebhela ukuthi u-A ngizombeka kaphi, u-B ngizombeka kaphi, u-C ngizombeka kaphi. Ukhiye uthi leli side le angle onikeziwe with the opposite side, leyo angle ayihlezi iba ubani? U-A wakho. So uma ibambe kanjalo nje you will not go wrong. So the given angle with the opposite side, that angle must always be your A. Kusho ukuthi lo nobani? U small letter A. And then sesiyazi la ukuthi sino M angithi. Okusho ukuthi lo ubani? Small letter M. So usungayifakela ke lapha uma uthanda uthi u-B lo waya, which means this one will be small letter B. But we do not know layer angle, we do not know this side. So le part asidingi. So we only need two parts. So i-formula yethu izothini ke la. So i-formula yethu izothi sine, angithi njalo sesifuna uma sifuna i-angle, ama-angles abayi-numerator kwi-formula yethu. So sine A over small letter A equals to sine M. So sine M over small letter M. Okay. So sine M over small letter M. Then sekuphelile ke. So these wona amaphatha ayi-2 esiwadingayo lapho. So usine A wethu uba, so sine A u-75 degrees. So sine 75 degrees. So sine 75, naku ngifaka u-percent. So sine 75 degrees divided by u-A, ubani u-A, small letter A, 10 units equals to usine M uba asimazi sifuna yena ngithi. Okay, so sine M over bani? Sine M over unakho small letter M, it's 8 units.
Okay.
8 units. Sisahambisana ngithi.
Yeah.
Now the next step esiyenzayo la sixosha lo 8 lo. So masimxosha, we multiply by 8. What you do on this side, you must also do on the other side. So multiply by sine 8. Multiply by sine 8. Then lower sine 8 na lower sine 8 bayakhanselana, sisala no sine M equals to, then use your calculator. So we've got 8 times sine 75 Sine 75 over 10. So lokho ukwenze kube i-decimal. Kungabi ungakwenzi ungayithatha nje yakho kwi-set form. So yenze ibe i-decimal. So kuphuma 0,772740661. Siyamsana ngithi. So lena kuza-ke we only round off the final answer. So ngoba lana akakabi final answer, lama digits siwafaka njengoba nje ya. So uzongibizela wona because izosuka le calculator uma ngibhala. So it's 0,7727 40661. So now sifuna u-m. So masifuna u-m sekumele sisebenzise ke i-inverse ka-sine. That is u-arc sine. So we use the inverse of m. So m is equals to, so the inverse of inverse ka sine la. So inverse ka sine. So it's sine. So it's sine exponent -1. Then ufake leya nakhuza yonke. So uzoyifaka yonke 0,772 uqhubeke nje uqhubeka amadosi asho ukuthi uyaqhubeka leya number uyifaka yonke. Then usushaya i-calculator izobe isiphuma i-angle yakho oku-m ukuthi iwubani. So now i-calculator yakho uthi shift sine, then isiyangena i-inverse ka-sine lapha ya 0,72740,661. Then the angle here too, so round it to 2 decimals. We're rounding to 2 decimals. We should after comma we take 2 digits, so it's 50,60. 50,60. So we round it to 2 decimals. So after comma you take 2 digits if you round to 2 decimals. If we maybe round it to 1 decimal, makes about 50,6 kuphela, to 60 kuphela after comma. If maybe round it to the nearest whole number, then ngoba kuno 6 la. So if le number eva comma i-5 fika phezulu, add 1 ngala, so makes about 51 degrees. But here we are rounding to 2 decimals, so it's 50,60 degrees. So yona angle ka m there, yeah. Are we happy?
Yeah.
So cosine rule yona elula kakhulu ke le. So cosine rule silisebenzisa uma kwenze njani ke wona. So cosine rule. The cosine rule can be used in any triangle where you are trying to relate all 3 sides to one angle. So cosine rule simsebenzisa kunanoma yipi i-triangle, but kumele sikhumbule ukuthi i-triangle lethu kumele kube non right angled triangle. So uma sifuna ukurelate onke ama-side o-3 to one angle. So that is why uma sisebenzisa i-cosine rule sithi sidinga ukuba nama-sides awu-2 with an angle in between those 2 sides. So that is how you know ubona ngakhona ukuthi kumele usebenzise the cosine rule. So nanti triangle yethu lapha ya. So sino 2, sino 4. Then bese sinikezwa leya angle maybe it would sit 20 degrees. So ukuze sisebenzise i-cosine rule sidinga ukuba nama-side awu-2 and in between those 2 sides sibe nani ne-angle. So akuthi uyabona ukuthi lana akufani njengaku-sine rule, because ku-sine rule is 10. Cosine rule udinga i-angle and the opposite side. So that is cosine rule. So ngala ku-cosine rule you need 2 sides with an angle in between. Siyayibamba?
Yeah.
All right. So finding sides, how do we find sides? So if it's nama side out 2, that is funa leya side leya ilapha ya. So finding sides is wathola kanjani ke ama-sides using the cosine rule. If you need to find the length of a side, you need to know the 2 sides and the angle in between. Look at the la. You need 2 sides and the angle in between those 2 sides. And then you need to use the version of the cosine rule where a squared is the subject of the formula. So formula isebenzisa umufuna iside ile a squared or subject of the formula. So formula called a squared equals to b squared and c squared. So b no c kusuke kungamaside lawa owaziyo lawa asuke nakhuza esemaceleni kwe-angle yakho. So that those are b no c, these are known sides la khona i-angle yakhe isuke iphakathi nawo. Minus 2bc times cos a. So this is the formula esisebenzisayo uma sifuna the unknown side with triangle. So angithi uyabona enye into kwi-triangle sisuke if sinonakhuza la ukuze lento siyibeke kahle. If le angle esisuke sinikeziwe kumele uhlezi le angle esuke in between the two sides kumele uhlezi uyidenote ngobani ngo-a, then the opposite side yakho small letter a. So if so sifuna leli side ke lelo lo a lo. So that is why a squared wethu simenza abe is subject of this formula because we want that side esingalazi. So usungasho ke lapha mhlawumbe ukuthi this is b, so capital letter b lo. So ngala kuzoba bani small letter b. This is capital letter C. This will be small letter c. Labo bafaka lapha b and c. Angithi yabona b and c this kusuke ngama sides lawa akake your angle owazi. Siyatholana.
Yeah.
And then cos a lapha yana kusuke kuyi-angle yakho lo inikeziwe ku-a cos a is 20. So into osuke ungayazi lana it's only iside elikubani eliku-a. So ngale formula yakhona ukuthi ulithole leliya side leliya. Guys ayikho nzima le shandisi. Uma ufundiswe kahle nje wachazela kahle uzoyi-enjoy bese uyayipractice ke nayo kubalekile nokupractice. So side A is the side A is the one you are trying to find. So here we want to find side A, that side. So side B and C are the other two sides, so given sides. And angle A is the angle opposite to small letter a. So angle A is the angle opposite to the other side, the small letter a. So as you can see, applying a small. Finding side example. Work out the length of x in the diagram below. So now let's check here. Okay, uzobuka la. Ngingakwazi ukusebenzisa i-sine rule. So uyabona njalo umudila ne-angle yakho uyibuze lo question, ngiyakwazi ukusebenzisa i-sine rule. Nginayo yini angle? Yes, nginayo i-angle. Nginayo yini opposite side? Anginayo. So if une-angle ungena opposite side, awukwazi ukusebenzisa i-sine rule lapho because ukusebenzisa i-sine rule you need i-angle and the opposite side. So uyabona ukuthi okay, mhlawumbe lento ukuze usishaye kahle. Asicheckeni ukuthi uzoqala uyibuza ukuthi ngiyakwazi ukusebenzisa i-Pythagoras ukuthi triangle le. So ngiyakwazi ukusebenzisa i-Pythagoras theorem ukuthola leliya side. Guys, awukwazi ukusebenzisa i-Pythagoras theorem. Why? Because this triangle akusiyona i-right angle triangle. Although uwazi because omunye any mistake umuntu angayenza la avela asebenzisa i-Pythagoras theorem bese ngoba uwazi lama side awu2 usu wrong mwenza njalo. So awukwazi ukusebenzisa i-Pythagoras theorem with triangle engasiyona i-non right angled right angled triangle. So this is a non right angled triangle. So you cannot use Pythagoras theorem. That is number one. Ngingakwazi ukusebenzisa ama-trig ratios. Ama-trig ratios now apply kwini with right angled triangle. So this is not a right angled triangle. You cannot use ama-trig ratios. Ngingakwazi ukusebenzisa i-sine rule. So with some sine rule, you need the angle and the opposite side. So now we have the angle, but we do not have opposite side. We cannot use sine rule. So obvious, the only option is necessarily cosine rule. Ngingakwazi ukusebenzisa the cosine rule. So nginawo yini angle and nama side awu2 angle ephakathi kwawo. Yes, there is 22 and 28 on nama side angle yethu in between one. Therefore, sengiyakhona ukuthi ngisebenzise the cosine rule. Nayizwa lento ukuthi kumele nicule kanjani?
Yeah.
Sizokhona ukuyicula. Ubamba kuze kufike la oyicula njengoba nje ngiyicula. Uyithathe from ekuqaleni ukuthi okay, angikwazi ukusebenzisa i-Pythagoras theorem, usho isizathu sakhona. Angikwazi ukusebenzisa ama-trig ratios, isizathu sakhona. Angikwazi ukusebenzisa i-sine rule, isizathu sakhona. Then ngisebenzisa i-cosine rule, usho ukuthi why ukwazi ukusebenzisa i-sine rule because there is an angle and two sides angle in between one. That is why sisebenzisa the cosine rule. So le angle ohlezi uyinikeziwe ngithe uzohlezi iba ubani iba u-A. So the given angle izoba u-A okusho ukuthi ngalana sinobani sino small letter A. So usho ukuthi masifuna i-distance ka u-x laphaya sifuna sizobe solve lo A omncane. Then usungayinema noma kanjani uma uthando ngasho ukuthi ususihambe rotate ihambe clockwise. So A u-B ngala. So u-C laphaya. So usho ukuthi this is small letter C, this is small letter B. So sifuna small letter A. So nansi i-formula yethu laphana isisebenzisayo uma sifuna the small letter A. Ithini? A squared. So A squared equals to B squared plus C squared minus 2BC times cos A. So isho kanje i-formula yethu. Now the next thing usuzo substitute la. So ma substitute la asimazi A squared isifuna yena. So B squared wethuba
22.
So B wethu is 22. So sizoba no 22 squared plus C 2800. So 28 squared. So 28 squared. Squared minus 2 times umuthando ungafaka ama-bracket ufaka ama-bracket B is 22 times C 28 times leya dot leya isho ukuthi multiplication times cos i-angle A wethuba 70 now 97. So i-angle ya it's 97. So cos 97 degrees. So ngishayela i-calculator. So nami ngizoshaya eyami la 22 squared 22 squared plus 28 squared minus 2 times 22 times 28 times cos 97. Kuphuma 1418,143031. So this is not the final answer since we round off so ifaka njengoba injalo. So angithi yakhumbula njalo ukuthi sinobani la sino A squared. So thina sifuna u-A. So angibizela le answer let's say 1418 comma 143031. So angithi sifuna u-A la so sizo introducer i-square roots nangala sibe ne-square root then bese siyamthola ke u-A not u-A squared. So now square root of that value sizoboba. So it's a square root. So square root of 1418,143031. Ithola u-37,6. So must round that to 2 decimals. Kuzoba u-66 because it's no 8 laphaya. So 8 to 1 go 5 kube u-66. If base rounded to 1 decimal, it's about 37,7. If base rounded to the nearest whole number, it's about 38 degrees. So Tina rounded to 2 decimals. So it's about 37,66. 37,66. He cited and so I see you decrease, I see angle. So units because it distance is called mangayo. So this is units. Sibambi.
Yeah.
Isabubeka inzima namanje leshandisi.
Cha.
Say yes wakala. Okay. That is how we find i-side. Now asi-check-eni ukuthi because ngeke behlezi ukuthi kumele uthole i-side kuphela usebenzise i-cosine rule. So kumele uphinde ukwazi ukuthola i-angle usebenzisa the cosine rule. So how do we find the angle using the cosine rule? So finding angles using cosine rule. If you need to find the size of an angle, you need to use the version of the cosine rule where the cos A is on the left, is the subject of the formula. So guys, uthatha yona le formula le, ungaze mhlawumbe ufuna ukuyicrema because umunye uzogcina once wazi le formula le uzokhona ukuthi uthole le name. So uthatha yona le formula le, okay, ngifuna ispace, okay, angibhale la. Uthatha yona le formula bese isebenzisa bese uyayimanipulate wenze u cos A abe is subject of the formula. Apply ke la ku question yethu. Work out angle P in the diagram below. So sifuna le angle. So le angle esiyifunayo guys, sihlezi sidenote ngobani? Ngo-A. So asimenze noma kuwuP lo kodwa thina ngenxa yokuthi asifuni ukuconfuseka kuzoba u-A lo. Because angithi uyabona ukuthi uma ufaka uP la kuzomela uphinde lapha yana la khona khona u-A ufaka uP. But if uzokukhumbula ungakwenza lokho, but mina ngenzela ukuthi sisebenze le formula vele siyenze ibe yi-standard. So noma sazi ukuthi this is angle P but thina asimfake as u-A kule angle sifuna. So kusho ukuthi ngala kuzoba u-small letter A. So aswahambise i-triangle letter siyenze ihambe clockwise. So uma ku-A la kusho ukuthi kuzoba u-B. So uhlezi i-triangle lakho uhlezi uyihambisa clockwise, then kuzoba u-C loya. So kusho ukuthi this is small letter B, this is the small letter C. Then sifuna i-angle. So masifuna i-angle sesiyazi i-formula yethu izothini? Cos A equals to B squared plus C squared minus A squared all over 2BC. Now say substitute again, guys. Cos A uba, so the angle elapha A uba ni uP angithi. So sizoba no cos P equals to uB small letter B u8. So sizoba no 8 squared plus uC. So uC wethu uba. So small letter C, it's 5 units. So no 5 squared. 5 squared minus A, small letter A, 7. So now leli side the opposite angle lesifunayo. It's A over 7 units. So 7 squared. All over 2B, that is 8. C, that is 5. Then so shaya you calculate again. So fraction 8 squared plus 5 squared minus 7 squared all over 2 times 8 times 5. Then kupuma u0.5, that is half 1 over 2, so 0.5. So kusho ukuthi sino cos P equals to 0.5. Now sifuna u-angle P, so sifuna this angle P. So kuzomela simxoshe cos, ukuze simxoshe cos sisebenzisa i-inverse yakhe. So ukuze sisale no P la, angle P. So ukuze sisale no angle P, sizoba ne-inverse la cos, cos exponent -1 into 0.5. Then lokho kuzobe sekusinikeza ke u-P wethu ukuthi uba the size of angle P. So inverse cos half, so section shifts, sorry. So it shifts cos, it's totally the inverse cos, half 0,5, kusinikeza u-60 degrees. So the angle is u-60, so is u-60 degrees. Iyabambeka?
Yeah.
Okay, any question? Asibuze ke manje.